Vine versus TikTok. This is less about these immediate two platforms and more about how short form content has actually changed and adjusted over the years. It's something that over my life I've been able to watch and see it evolve. I've been able to see it change and modify, not just in how it is, but also the kind of content that is made and the kind of content that is short form. Vine is the earliest example that I can think of because that was one of the first few things that I was exposed to. Vine compilations on YouTube. I never had a phone back in the day, never had the app, but so much of that short form content was designed to be humorous, silly, goofy, and it was around a very precise time where enough adults were allowing their kids to get cellular devices in a very specific age range. I saw it very much so in the age range of middle school to high school, and you had this moment where the gaps between these 7 years were bridged, where people in this age group just started realizing, oh, you know, these other people where previously in person it's just, oh, this person is superior to me, this person is under me, because you see the grade that someone is in and it's very clean cut, very pretty, very this and that. You started to see that gap close. You saw a little bit of the older, some of the high schoolers and some of the middle schoolers making the same kinds of content, you know, doing the same types of things. And this was also where, comparatively to today, the internet was in its infancy. It was still very small, very precise with its intent, and very much so productivity oriented. And Vine came along and it was the escape for a little bit. It was the, hey, you know, scroll through, get some laughs, just because you can, just as a little bit of a break, and then get back to what you're doing next. Excuse me. And it's one of those things that I bring this up because I've been seeing, you know, the old Vine compilations pop back up on my YouTube feed. And they're all that 5-7 second range, clean, funny, entertaining, humorous, the whole 9 yards. And it gave me a little bit of a reality check because I look at it nowadays and our, quote, short form content ranges anywhere from 20 seconds to a minute and a half. And it's very high paced, very snappy, very this and that, go, go, go. And the longer the short form content gets, the more information we're trying to pack into it. And I mean, as an example, you get nothing out of watching a baking video at 5 or 10x speed. The entire purpose there is to have you re-watch the video so that the views go up, so that the attention is still there, and you have to keep doing that to get these snippets of information at the right times before the video just continues to go and then loops itself again. It's it's not healthy in a simple sense. Back when Vine came out, we already had, the longer, shorter attention spans of that 5 second range. Well, nowadays, the attention span average is closer to a second and a half or 2 seconds. When I was in college, it was 3 seconds. No, that's not a time of reference for anyone, but it continues to get shorter and shorter and shorter. So we're having this snappier and this faster and this shorter and shorter time frame of content. It doesn't give you the chance to breathe. It doesn't give you the chance to just pace yourself and take in the information. It's with the objective to overload you. And not just that, but back in the day with Vine, this was something that had a lot more parental interaction, If a parent was providing this device to their kids, very likely the parent had some knowledge or some awareness as to what the kid was doing on that device. Now, devices are being purchased, and I see it every time I go to the stores. There will be a family of 4, 5, 6, and every single kid has a phone, and they're just glued to it while the parents are doing the shopping, the kids are in the car, and they're just putting groceries on top of the kids. It's ridiculous. So nowadays you have the detachment. Excuse me. You have the detachment of the parental engagement, the parental interaction, and in a way the parental safeguard. We keep allowing parental controls to be on things, but then you can be 14 and making a social media account. And everyone knows this too, but there are ways to get around needing parental controls on something. There are. That's just a fact of the matter. It's disheartening because, especially with what TikTok is these days, everything goes through TikTok, it seems. And it perpetuates this short form content. It's very crude, is how I would politely describe it. But it's very crude, very fluffy, and it doesn't have a lot of substance to it. It doesn't have much of anything to it. Like I was saying, if something is trying to be informational, you're trying to condense something that should be said over 5, 10, 15 minutes into a 30-second, minute-long, minute-and-a-half-long video. And that's just not possible. It's too much. It's overstimulation. And yet we are giving children access to this very early on without the proper education and saying, hey, this should not be the only thing you pay attention to. This is not reality. This is buffoonery. As I've heard it called before, a talent show, but no one's talented. I understand that parents these days likely see it as a tool, a way to help keep track of their kids and to communicate with them when need be. But there needs to be restrictions on it. There has to be. And I don't say this in terms of a parent to a kid, because yes, that does need to be there. The parent needs to be engaged. But in general, we all spend way too much time on our phones. And many of us have grown up in the era not of technology, of just everyone having a phone being the standard. I was going to high school, and having a phone was iffy. You know, it was not a given. Well, now you're introducing this box, which is proven to be addictive. You're introducing this box, which is proven to be addictive, with applications and, if you want to use a technical term, resources that make it further addictive, where you can run your entire life out of it. You can do your banking, you can order food, you can order anything you want or need to off of that little box. And we're just giving it to a child, infant, entity, person, however you'd like to say, that does not understand what moderation is, that needs to be instructed and guided on how to be productive, on how to be a human, essentially. And we're just throwing all of that out the way, and we are exposing them to, I've heard this term before too, brain rot, that contributes nothing, that shows them the crude, heinous parts of the internet, and exposes them to information that, yes, with a mind where you're aware of that type of information, know how to filter it, know how to be cognizant of it, we're exposing that type of video to a mind that does not know how to be cognizant of it. We are, through our platforms, through our short form content, through even our movies now, because of how fast our cuts are, we're always forcing the mind or forcing the brain and the body to reacquire new information faster, quicker, in different spots at once, with more sensory input, with brighter lights, with louder volume. We are actively, as a society, encouraging, perpetuating, and making more and more severe ADHD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health symptoms. That is a fact of the matter. And I am expressing this because I have noticed it in myself, which is one of the reasons I am adamant about not being as plugged in when I can. I need to be connected for work. I need to be connected for the productivity things that I have so that I can have a job. But if it was my opinion, I wouldn't have a phone. I would not have a laptop. Because it doesn't add something to my life. Adding something to my life is sitting outside and meditating, going to a park, going on a walk, going to a farmer's market, traveling to a different state and doing a hike or a biking trail. It's going out and actually living part of my life for no one else besides myself. But we're conditioning at an earlier and earlier age to live through this glowing box. And the worst part is that we're targeting advertisements and even the YouTube algorithm. Everything is targeted to essentially tailor someone's mindset. By just handing your child a phone and letting them scroll through whatever it may be, it's like you are allowing someone who is not yourself to tell your child how to think, what to think, and how to conduct themselves. And you do not have input on that. We are not raising a new generation of people anymore. We are we're brainwashing a generation to operate in a very specific manner for the sole purpose of increasing revenues. And inevitably the bubble will pop. So, I will leave you with this if you are still here. Be cognizant, be aware, and be in tune with what you or your offspring are watching, paying attention to, and doing while on the internet. Are you making an active decision? Or are you just going along with it? Are you just doing it because it's what you do every day? Or are you doing it because you want to do it? And if you want to sit there every day and browse through whatever platform it may be, if that is what you want to do, then I respect your informed decision, as long as you are aware and actively making that decision. Social media and entertaining content are phenomenal and wonderful tools. A hunting rifle is also a tool, and every tool can be misused. The education and knowledge of what a tool's purpose is and how it should be effectively and productively used is paramount in this day and age. Thank you for your time.